And welcome back to Janky AF and Year of the Aerostar, episode number 92. Well, you can see I have some black amongst all these colors on today. That'll give you a little hint or an inkling as to where we're headed with the color of this Aerostar. Always wonderful when we get to see a black Aerostar, one of my favorite colors on the Aerostar. It was a factory color, although very rare. And speaking of which, this is some custom-made Janky swag here, and there is some Janky swag for sale at jankypainting.com. I have an Etsy store set up now, so just a quick little plug. Unfortunately, custom pieces like this have not hit the shelves yet, but I do have some other merchandise there. So if you're so inclined, you can go over and get yourself some Janky swag. There'll be some more sort of crazy customized pieces coming, but all in the works and all in good time. Or if you'd like, you can just watch or listen to this episode. I had some great commentary. Glenn, thank you for reaching out. Said he often listens to Year of the Aerostar, and I thought that was a great compliment because I do love the listenable, quote-unquote, section of YouTube. I myself love to just listen to YouTube videos, and I think it's actually a compliment because you don't have to watch my, dumb face, and that means that hopefully what I'm saying is entertaining enough just listening to it, and I don't have to... like a lot of these YouTube videos where they're banging you over the head with all these visuals and crazy graphics and text and letters and all this stuff. So that was a great compliment. So Janky, do thank you. I appreciate that. So I guess, enough blathering around here. We should just get on with the episode. And if you do happen to be watching, then, you'll get to indulge yourself in some fine photos of one of the vehicular masterpieces of our time and generation, the God of Cars. And I already forget your name. I'll put your name up here on the screen. I already forgot to shout you out, even though I said I would. One of the best quotes on the Aerostar I've ever heard, the God of Cars. I'm actually going to edit this right now so I can actually go see who said that. So we'll be right back.
Listen, you want to get in on some hot property in Southern California? I've got a tip for you. It's got easy access to the beach, schools, shopping, plenty of extra storage space. It's got built-ins, a rec room you can convert into a bedroom, and wait till you see the view. You want a great investment? Get an extended length Aerostar, but not this one. This one's mine.
All right, and we're back. Stephanie Shaddix, thank you so much. Said her parents owned a 87 Aerostar since new. They still have it. And she called it the God of Cars. I mean, for something that is all-encompassing, all-being, all-watching, all-knowing, you could do worse with an analogy than a Ford Aerostar because it is sort of this everything of a car. So I thought that was really touching, and I'm right there with you, obviously. So Janky do thanky, Stephanie, for that beautiful, beautiful line that I will be using quite often from now on. I guess we should introduce the van at this point. A lot of blathering on today's episode, but sometimes that's what you get. So here we have a 1997 Ford Aerostar 3.0L liter XLT, listed for just $3,000 in Hackensack, New Jersey. Hackensack, New Jersey, of course, the birthplace of hacky sack. One of the worst jokes I've made, and for that reason, one of the best. Now today, I'm feeling a bit spry and a bit energetic because I was for the last 3 days kind of laid up. This is being recorded on a Thursday. On Monday, I was vomiting and also, the vomit that comes out the other end all over the place. I had some sort of stomach bug. Tuesday and Wednesday, just totally knocked out in my bed. And it gave me a chance to respond to a lot of comments, and that really kept my spirits high, so I really appreciate that. And today, it's nothing like getting sick to make just being okay feel great again. And so very happy and enthusiastic to be back and talking about the Ford Aerostar. And what a great one we have to talk about today. So, 97, the final model year, obviously. We have 178,000 vehicle miles on this vehicle, an automatic transmission, exterior color black, the Black Beauty, and it is a little two-tone with a silver underbody here. Interior color tan, I love a black and tan. Fuel type is gasoline, and it's listed in good condition. So, let's read the seller's description. Very nice description coming out of Hackensack, New Jersey here. 1997 Ford Aerostar XLT 3.0 liter engine in excellent condition, air conditioning, 78K on new transmission. Excuse me. Great for work, moving furniture, moving furniture. And if your line of work happens to be moving furniture, then even better. New water pump, rear springs, battery, alternator, power steering pump, and exhaust. That right there, you know, exhaust work is not always cheap. $3,000, rare find, hidden information or text hidden information, Fred. Oh, well, they gave us the name. Thank you, Fred, for posting this wonderful description of your 1997 Ford Aerostar. I like that, you know, so many of these listings, they don't even mention if it's the 3.0 or the 4.0. And that right there is sort of a big thing, because if you do happen to have the 4-liter, especially in a, well, the only case that would be special is in a non 4-wheel drive model, you know, that's something to write home about. That's something really, you know, pretty rare that someone that optioned the 4-liter engine on the rear-wheel drive model. You know, we have a long list of things that have been done recently, and we do have, you know, the transmission of the idea. You know, I'm feeling great, but my words still quite aren't back yet. The disclosure of the fact that it's had a transmission replaced. However, we have exactly, you know, we know exactly how many miles are on the current one, 78K. So right there, you know, you have a vehicle with 178,000 miles on it, but if your transmission only has 78 on it, well, then that's, you know, a benefit, as long as assuming the, you know, procedure was done correctly and all that. I like how it says great for work, moving furniture. And so much more, as we'll see in, you know, as we've seen in many, many Aerostar commercials, all the things you can do with the Ford Aerostar. But those are just two examples of the literally thousands, endless examples of things you can do with your Ford Aerostar. I have not brought my water with me. I apologize. There'll just be a lot of throat clearing during this episode. So, it's a very janky one today, episode number 92. Let's look at a few more pictures of this beautiful van. I mean, there we have it. With the door open, you can see the tan interior, and I really think this is a fantastic combination. Not only the black exterior, but the silver two-tone on the bottom. It'd almost be great if this was a gold two-tone on the bottom, and then with the tan, you know, goldish interior. I think that would really be the creme de la creme. However, the black and silver looks very nice, especially with your silver hubcaps or silver grille. And that tan interior, something about a black and tan, you know, that combination is just fantastic. The way the tan and the black sort of bring out the contrast in each other, it always, you know, gets me going, that black and tan combination. So I think if this was a gray interior, you know, it'd match the outside, it'd look very nice, and it'd look sort of svelte and sophisticated. But the black and tan just oozes like, you know, luxury and just a whole nother level of beauty that I really appreciate. Looking at the front here, we can see that beautiful New Jersey license plate. And you know, it's so funny to see the Aerostar in black seems so novel. And it was a factory color, but much like the 7th generation Buick LeSabre, of which I also have an example in 1995, they made them in black, but it was such a rare color. And I'm not sure why. You know, black cars are very, very popular these days. You know, everything is either like black, gray, or white, it seems like, or maybe some sort of grayish blue, cobalt something. And but back in the day, you know, you had these more sort of, if they weren't even bright, because a lot of them were sort of dark colors. You had your purples and your mauves and your crimsons and your, you know, dark blues, and then you had your, you know, your whites and a little bit of silver, but even silver wasn't that big of a color back then. So it's just funny to see this Aerostar, and it almost looks like it's been repainted, because it almost looks like a little bit too modern of a color. but it's such a standard color, and lots of cars have been black going back to the Model T, or the Model A, whatever it was. You can have it in any color you want as long as it's black. Sports cars, Ferraris, black's always been like a pretty popular color if it's not red. But still, to my eye, whenever I see a black Aerostar, it's always something special. And I just really like the way it looks. Now I don't know if I've ever seen one that wasn't a two-tone, that has the bumpers, and this sort of lower sidebar here painted body color matched. And I think that would look absolutely just stunning. I think I've seen one before, but the bumpers were all chewed up or whatever. And you can see the paint in quite good condition here. So just, boy, I would really love to own a black Aerostar one day. It's just a stunning shade. Just at a loss for words. It's almost hard to believe. It's almost like because they're so rare, it's hard to ever imagine someone speccing that from the factory, like, oh, we'll take that one in black there. And it's like, wow, what a great decision on your part, because not only is it a great color choice on the Aerostar, but you don't realize how rare and how sort of legendary this thing will become as time goes on. As we can see, it is the extended version, which I really like. I think it looks particularly good in the extended version in this color. And we can see our bumpers are all fully intact. A little bit of wear and tear in the interior. It looks like it has been used for, some moving purposes. It looks like we do have that center console in there. I've been really hot to trot on these things lately, and I wonder if this is the factory one, which would be really cool. Now, one thing to look about these Aerostars, and I've seen some chatter on this on Instagram recently, is these plastic moldings that sort of meet your headliner at the very top and then go all the way down to your bottom. These things, just the wear and tear and the age of them and the brittleness of the plastic and the sun exposure mainly, combined with a little bit of a moisture exposure if the top seals leak, which, spoiler alert, they do. You often see a lot of Aerostars that have sort of been caulked around the windows. And that's just time being time, and the seals on them, seals on lots of cars go. But it's funny when something breaks down in an Aerostar, like the seals break or the rubber starts to go or the bumpers crack. Usually that because the car itself is still on the road. So it's almost like a testament to the longevity of the Aerostar in a way, that all these little things start to go, because a lot of cars just never even make it to that point. So that's the way I've spun it anyhow. But it is frustrating. My brown 1986 in particular, these things are just really started to bend in. And this is in very, very good condition. All the plastic in here looks very straight. It looks very unmanipulated and unbent by the sun. So that's pretty rare. The headliner looks to be in pretty good condition too. So I will say overall, pretty great condition. Now I did notice, I'm not even sure if it's rust or just bending. It does look like some rust here. It looks like you got some pokiness going on there on your rockers, but it doesn't look like it's maybe a little bit here really started to spread too much to your, these large sections of sheet metal here. And if you could catch it before that and just do your rockers, and not have to cut metal out of your doors and stuff like that, you definitely, save yourself a lot of time and or money. Boy, the paintwork is really nice. I gotta say, the paint looks to be in good condition. When I first saw this, I was like, all right, immediately the rocker panel rust jumps out at it, and you're like, all right, whatever, it's your old run-of-the-mill Aerostar, aside from the fact that it's in this beautiful shade of black. A gloss black too, which is nice. But the more I look at it, the more I dig into it, $3,000 is a pretty good asking price for this, especially when you consider, a newer transmission, new water pump, rear springs. You've had suspension work addressed, a new battery, you've had a new alternator, new power steering pump, and a new exhaust. So a lot of people, they'll put a new alternator in there sometimes, although it seems like people never want to put a new battery in, even though it's one of the cheapest things you can do. Like usually for under $200 you can get a new battery in your car, but people always want to sell them and say runs fine after a jump. It's like, well, if you haven't even put a new battery in your car, how can I know that you've kept up on any other maintenance? So the fact that they've done And a lot of times, tons of these old vehicles, they need muffler work. There's a hole in the muffler. And that, if that involves the catalytic converter, then boom, you could be out, like quite a bit of money. Those things aren't cheap. So the fact that they've addressed exhaust work and suspension work, no one ever wants to touch suspension work. Like usually it's like, okay, it needs new brakes, whatever. But the fact that they put new rear springs in, and done a lot of different work in different areas of the vehicle, seems to me that with my Aerostar sleuthing, that they've really tried to address things as they occur and not just do like, quick fixes or, not address only the most blatant thing and then just try to get it out of the door. It seems like it's been, maintained over the years. So we applaud Fred, if that is your name, for doing that. Now, I wanted to get a little fanciful with this one because we could end it right there. And, what a great story. I always love buying a car in New Jersey. I bought my Buick from New Jersey. There's just something about going down to New Jersey to buy a car. Just kind of fun. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm from New York, not New York City, but New York, the state. And New Jersey is sort of like a friendly rival. A lot of people talk trash about New Jersey, but I happen to have like sort of a soft spot for New Jersey. So I would love to take a trip down to Hackensack and bring back this 97 Aerostar. But lately, and then we'll just go on a little tangent here, I've been getting really, really into Aerostar trucks. Now this is just like, cut the back off. People do this with all sorts of minivans nowadays, and everything for that matter. You've seen a Tesla 3 turned into a truck. I've seen everything at this point. BMW 3 Series turned into trucks. Cadillacs turned into trucks, like whatever. It's just like a thing that people do. It's like an LS swap. You can do it on basically anything. But for an Aerostar, contextually, it makes just a little bit more sense because these were not quite a truck, but very similar. Now, they weren't the same exact underpinnings as a Ranger, as people like to say. It's not just a van body slapped on a Ranger. There were some differences in your suspension, and not all the parts were completely interchangeable. They do share a lot of parts with the Ranger, as well as, I believe, the Explorer, some things just as simple as wheels and stuff like that. But the Ranger, I think it shared the most with, particularly engines, things like that. However, I think the four-wheel drive system, the electronic four-wheel drive system, was totally unique to the Aerostar. But being, a rear-wheel drive, towing capable, 4,800 to 5,000 pounds, or four-wheel drive for that matter, large vehicle that was used kind of as a work vehicle. It fits much more in the realm of like being a truck-like vehicle. So, and there are out there, you can Google them. There's not tons. I would say there's like 9 to 12 maybe examples ever. And this is me doing a lot of research, finding examples. And usually they're pretty hacked up, pretty janky, which, I'm all for that. But there is one which I would like to share with you. And I have the page brought up. Aerostar truck that I took a particular liking to, and I would like to do one day. And it seems a little bit sacrilege to do it with a black Aerostar because they're so rare. But then again, if you pulled it off and it looked great, it might just be, a proper send up. I suppose you could always buy, a different color and then just paint it black if you wanted to. But I love this because it's the only one I've ever seen in this particular guise. And I love it for a lot of reasons, but two main reasons. So this is from farmshow.com, and I'll put a link in the description. Chopped van turned into dump truck. Turning an old van into a dump truck with club cab was a good investment for Joseph Mundill. The lawn care operator needed a way to haul away lawn clippings and tree branches. Now, I don't know when this 2008, this is from 2008. So let's look at how far the Aerostar market has come. I bought a 1992 Aerostar minivan with 169,000 miles for only $400, says Mundill. It has 4WD, four-wheel drive, which is good in the winter, and I still have the second seat. So it'll fit 5 seats adult. It'll seat 5 adults comfortably. Now here's the first main difference. In all these other examples I've seen, and I should have brought up more, but oh well. It's usually, I've seen short bed and long bed. Now the standard and extended length Aerostars, they chop it right after the passenger, front passenger, the driver's, seat and front passenger seat. So which is nice because you get a nice long bed, especially on the extended. You probably get an 8-foot bed on the extended Aerostar. And it looks more like a standard pickup truck, right? Your old school pickup truck where it's just a single cab, long bed. However, keeping the rear bench seat, or if you happen to find captain's chairs, you can fit 2 or maybe 3 people in this. So it's like a crew cab pickup truck, which when I saw this, it blew my mind because I'd never even thought about a crew cab Aerostar. Now you're not sacrificing the ability to haul more people with you, but you still get that tall bed. Now I know with a van, you can fit so much stuff inside of an Aerostar anyways, but there's the novelty of it, and then maybe you want to put some really tall piece of furniture, but you want to haul people too. I don't know, make up your excuse to do what you want to do. Mundell chopped the van where the 2 side windows met just behind the second seat, but only as far as the door/fender panel. This allowed him to retain full use of the sliding door. So that's really cool because no pickup truck has a sliding door. So now we're in totally unique territory. He filled in the opening with the back side and window from 1984 Ford Ranger pickup cab. There you go. So more Aerostar Ranger sharing. I'm sure that was a custom fabrication, by the way, but still. He also cleaned out the interior to make room for the dump box. A local metal shop bent heavy tin for the box. Mundell attached used angle iron to the corners and a strip of channel iron at the tailgate. The channel iron let him hinge the box to the rear of the van. I bought a hydraulic cylinder and built a rack beneath the dump box, says Mundell. It uses a 12-volt pump that I installed in the rear. I put a hole in the side of the fender and made a lid to cover it. It lets me reach the toggle switch and valves I mounted inside the fender. Mundell mounted a manual 2-way tailgate on the dump box. He can tilt it down or flip it up and over the top of the box. The only other change he made to the van was replacing rusty quarter panels. Good for him. He even went that far to redo that. And if you look at this van, look at this thing. It's absolutely astounding. He probably found the best one. Look at this livery on this. The paint scheme on this is absolutely incredible. For $400 and 4-wheel drive, this one's about the same mileage, 2-wheel drive for $3,000, and this is in 2008. It wasn't that long ago. So, as much as I say the Aerostars haven't really increased in value and are still a bargain, which they are, it was even better, 15 years ago. Okay, so to sum it up, the conversion only cost me about $200, Mundell says. So for $600, he's into a running, driving, 4-wheel drive, crew cab pickup truck with a dump box that is purpose-built for exactly what he needs. He says it's just like a 4-seat pickup, but it costs a lot less. So now we have an address here, and I have a phone number. So, perhaps I should contact this fella and see if he's still got this thing lying around. I would love to buy it. This is a long time ago, so chances are it probably, is no longer around unless he's really kept it up. I would have to imagine there's a ton of miles on it. So if anyone's in, the Nebraska area, I believe Adam, I think you're in the Nebraska area, maybe this fella's still around and he'd like to sell me his Aerostar pickup truck. If not, it seems like he's a lot handier than I am, but the way he described everything here, it's in pretty good detail. So if I ever manage to get, another Aerostar, possibly this one here, maybe that's in the running, because I love the fact that you're not sacrificing the sliding door, you're not sacrificing being able to put people in it, but then you still get that bed in the back, which is so cool to have that open air bed back there. So, I'll probably throw a poll up now and see if people want me to make an Aerostar truck. But, the next one I would like to get an extended, and I would like to do something cool something really different and unique. And I think making a pickup truck out of an Aerostar, something I've always wanted to do. I've never seen one in real life. So, why not just make the dream a reality? So there you have it. A 1997 Ford Aerostar XLT with the 3-liter engine in black. A stunning example, fantastic looking Aerostar. I imagine we've gone quite long today, but that's okay. I wanted to celebrate, the Aerostar just a little bit extra today. Thank you for coming along on the journey with me. We love your comments. We're getting close to 600 subscribers. I was going to make a celebratory video at 500, and just being so darn busy and wanting to keep pumping out the Aerostar videos, I haven't even done that yet. So maybe it'll become a 600 episode, 600 subscriber celebratory episode. We're also marching towards 100 year of the Aerostars. So a lot to celebrate. Summer is always a very, very busy time, especially for a house painter like me. I'd always like to be doing more than I am. But, real life has its constraints, and you do what you can do. And, who am I to complain? I got 2 Aerostars in the garage, so life's good. But thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Here on Year of the Aerostar, episode 92, here on Janky AF. We'll have another one coming for you very soon. And until then, Janky do thanky.